You know, I actually wanted to wait to make this video. I wanted to wait till I had a better understanding of what exactly is going on, but that day may never come. And you all have a right to know just how grimdark this whole situation really is. It's safe to say that you have no bearing on the internet whatsoever. You pay for internet, you pay good money for internet accessibility, you pay money for the computer which you use internet on or on your phone or whatever. You work every day to get this technology, to circle the net, whether it's to, learn something new, watch a Lols Cats video, watch pornography, whatever the fuck you do. But it's safe to assume you work hard and you deserve what you paid for. You deserve to be able to use the internet as you see fit, and moderators don't let you do that. Moderators take from you, they take from you what you worked hard for, they take from you the content which you write, they take from you the accessibility which you are entitled to, they simply take from you, they rob you. And nobody wants to understand that, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg. I don't even get into how multifaceted this war for the internet really is. And I'm about to indulge something to you that might piss off some people, but it needs to be said. And that is that, as I've said before, we do not live in a moral world of good versus evil. We live in a world of evil versus more evil. Multifaceted evils that transcend the spectrum of colors beyond black and white. And because of that, you deserve to know at least a little bit what's going on around here. And I'm going to throw around terms that even I myself do not completely understand, but essentially moderators are one side to this bad equation, but another aspect is the white hatters and the black hatters, the tech geeks and things like that. As I make this video, I don't even know if it'll fucking upload, because my computer is just so infected with malware that I'd be surprised if when I click upload to YouTube, a fucking pop-up doesn't come up and give me the blue screen of death. That's how bad things are for me right now. And, I only have to blame the secretive criminal element that is the Black Hatter community. They get paid to basically put spyware on your computer so that they can track your movement and then use that as statistical evidence for the corporations that hire them to do this underhanded shit. But it gets worse than that. Some people just like to do it to prove to themselves that they can do it. There are people in this world petty and cruel enough to basically rape you of what you paid for and leave you living like in the early 19th century just because they want to prove a point, just to flex their e-peen and be able to say that they can hack into anything and that they can destroy anything. And it's completely meaningless, but then again, so is moderators, and people put up with that shit. They justify it. They make excuses for it. So it's not just the moderators. I've never said it was. But I do believe that the moderators are the biggest problem, because the moderators aren't doing diddly fuck about the other problems. They aren't doing any problems about the black hatters that are invading your privacy. They're not doing anything about the black hatters and about how they're, intruding upon your personal information for their personal benefit. They are not doing anything about the honeypot websites like fucking Facebook and Google and things like that, or that are just fucking using you to create this monolithic empire to make more goddamn money and have more goddamn control at your expense. And that's not even taking into consideration the white hatters. The people that are, just in their nature, they code, they like to program, they like to build websites, and then they get a little bit, I don't even know the word for it. They get a little bit bitter, I guess you can say, about it, and they start to resent humanity. They start to resent their fellow man, and they think they're better than you, and feel entitled to keeping this information secret. And that's why scripting and coding and things like that is so complicated. It's not that it's impossible to understand, but combined with the fact that it's a difficult subject to begin with, and then coupled with the fact you have a small group of people who have worked hard all their lives to comprehend it and to do it, and then they feel as though, it would be squandering their life's work to share that information. And that's why coding is such a difficult avenue to get into. Because they purposely make coding language too complex for the normal person to understand. And therefore, you got on one side these people that don't want us to know what's going on, and then you got the other side exploiting the fact that we don't know what's going on. And yes, while the white hatters may be in competition with the black hatters, they don't want them ruining their good thing. And on the same token, they're hardly our allies. They hardly have our interest at heart. They're part of the problem. And it really comes down to who's gonna destroy us first. Who's gonna revert us all back to the fucking Flintstones while they get to live like the Jetsons. That's what it really comes down to. It's just a rat race of who's going to be the one to destroy the internet for the rest of us and leave it only to them, the tech geeks, the superior intellect of the pseudo-intellectuals who get to just run rampant and treat the cyberweb as their playground and fuck the rest of us. That's what it comes down to. And in that whole debacle, I point to moderators. Because moderators don't know what the fuck they're talking about, they don't know what the fuck is going on, and the few that do are part of the problem. The few that actually know anything remotely about coding or any other bullshit are in on this shit. And this isn't some deep Illuminati conspiracy or anything like that. It's just the way things work. It's the natural progression of, you got normal people going to college and shit, and, then they come out and they realize the world isn't like they thought it was, and it transforms them. It makes them bitter and mean and hateful, and then they take that with them as they pursue knowledge and as they pursue creativity through their knowledge, and then you get Frankenstein's monster. So, to say that the war against moderators is just strictly black and white is insulting me, and it's insulting you. It's insulting your own intelligence, because I never said it was black and white. But I did say that moderators are the biggest threat to the internet as we know it. Because guess what? Moderators aren't going to do jack shit about the real problems with the internet. They're not going to do jack shit about the fact that you always need the latest software to protect your computer. They're not going to do jack shit about the data mining that goes on in every single facet of internet activity you do. They're not going to do jack shit about SOPA or PIPA or any of this other bullshit. They're infinitely times worse than SOPA or PIPA. So at the end of the day, yes, this is why I jerk off government. Everybody loves to go down my throat about how I defend government at every turn. But when I look around me, I see only government as the decent answer. I see government as the only possible avenue that doesn't involve, poking me with hot prods. I mean, yes, should government control the internet? Maybe not. I mean, after all, if government controls the internet, it's only going to be used to perpetuate what is good for the national interest. And if it does that, you are not going to have an internet. You are going to have an intranet. You are going to have a very isolated net that only allows certain websites to be viewable and could be considered to be a crime to view websites outside of their parameters. They would make it a crime to actually browse websites that were not defined as okay for you to view. I understand that, and in some regards that is censorship. But given what's on our plate, that pales in comparison. Given the fact that these bastards, the white hatters, the black hatters, the moderators and shit, are making millions, if not billions of dollars off of you, either through gaining your information, either through fooling you into just throwing your money at them in order to preserve the forum, which you can get banned from anyway, or maybe it's just because they are using some other avenue for money. One of their many computer skills. And in the midst of all of this, we suffer. We suffer because we have no freedom of speech. We suffer because we have no idea what the fuck is going on. We suffer because we're the ones that have to all the time buy this bullshit to protect ourselves and, are always buying the newest gadget thinking it's going to be better than last time, and it isn't. It really fucking isn't. It doesn't matter if your computer is 10 years old or 1 year old. It doesn't matter. It might have a little memory. It might work a little better. But there are always going to be holes. There are always going to be back doors for somebody to walk right through and rape your ass. There are always going to be barriers that are open and that someone is going to take advantage of. There are always going to be prowlers. And when you understand that, you have to ask yourself, why are we willing to put up with this bullshit from so many different corners? If we know this, if we know that there is nobody that can actually protect us, then why do we not at least demand freedom? Why do not we at least demand the right to, when we can get on the net and not get raped by spyware and malware and blah blah blah, why cannot we just browse, type, post messages, post videos, unintruded upon? Who the fuck are moderators to tell us what we can and can't do? Who the fuck are moderators to tell us who's the bad guy? They're the fucking bad guys. They're the people that say that they know better than we do, and they're not doing fucking anything about the problem. They can't do anything about the problem. The only people that can do something about the problem is the government. And you hate the government. You are always questioning and always back-talking your government. You are always making some excuse for why government is bad. And always private industry is good. But private industry is the one that created the black hatters. Private industry is the one that created the tech geeks, the white hatters, the moderators. They created it all, not the government. Yes, the government has its problems. The government can have corruption. But at the end of the day, it will always be the lesser evil. That's why I side with government. That's why I make every excuse in the world for state control. Because I've seen how this road turns out. I've seen how this story ends. And it's never anything good. So why in the fuck are you telling me about how bad government is and SHOPA and PIPA and martial law? No, I welcome that. I welcome when the state actually cracks down on these sons of a bitches and lines them up and executes them. I welcome a time when government can actually give us an internet that we can actually use, free of moderators dictating our actions for us, and where the law applies equally to everybody. Maybe the laws aren't always good, but at least they apply equally. At least there's equal accountability. At least there's equal answers and equal sensibility of it. You know? How are you not getting this? How are you not getting that it isn't because government is all good? It's because government actually holds people somewhat responsible. Either because the government officials are held responsible, or the people voting for them are responsible, or the fact that we just accept these laws makes us responsible. And whether the laws are good or bad, at least they apply equally. At least they make sense. At least there's some rationale behind it, and at the end of the day, A is A. And instead, you opt for moderator rule, where the rules only apply when and if they want them to. To some people some of the time, and sometimes to none of the people, none of the time. Well, I can't even say that. They always apply to someone, just never them. Just never the fucking moderators themselves. So to say the moderators are the only ill of the internet? No. But they are the biggest ill of the internet. Because I firmly believe that without moderators, there would be far less activity of all these black hatters and white hatters just turning this into their little gangster's paradise. And if the government was in control of the internet, it would certainly be a lot better. So I welcome any kind of regulation on the internet whatsoever. I welcome any kind of technological regulation because we seriously need it. We do not have nearly any at the moment. That's why people are able to create all this weird science fiction type techno babble. That's why, you know, every day we risk killing every living thing on the planet because someone is messing with the genetic code of our biology. And, you know, government, all they can do is talk about it and then pass a law and then try to enforce that law. That's all really government can do. Government is not as all-powerful as you want to believe it is. Government is not the all-encompassing evil that you want to think it is. You are the evil one. You are the food of the evil. And you choose who you feed. You choose who you are nourishing. And right now, you are nourishing much farther greater evils than the government. And you must realize that. You cannot possibly be this fucking stupid. So I guess that's all I have to say for now. Maybe I'll go more in depth into it a little later. I guess that's it for now.